Namaste. I'm Kali of Kali Durga Yoga, and I'm interested today in inviting an intermingling of Yin Yoga Asana, which seeks to engage with the human anatomy and physiology to move us into some deep held poses. And then the inner methods. So engaging with certain inquiries or contemplations that open up our own human psychology. And we might blend the two, inner methods and outer poses, to form a sense of coherence in the practice. Yoga is union or to integrate. So we'll start to pull together some inner aspects for a sense of wholeness through the whole animal organism. So come into child's pose. And I'll demonstrate the shape. And then as you settle in, I'll come back to seated to move us through the inner methodology. So big toes come to touch, knees wide. And the belly comes between the thigh bones as you draw the torso long. Third eye comes down. I call these glimpse practices where we just pause and soften briefly into the inner inquiry of different wisdom regions. Of particular interest in this shape is the belly center. And really this orb of chi force or pranic band from the navel to the pubic bone, which so many wisdom traditions suggest as being the center side of the self. So as you inhale and breathe into the low belly, drawing in a sense of awareness as if this is where you could go whenever there's a sense of dissonance or disintegration, disconnect. And then the exhale just allows you to widen through the weight of the pelvis and the kidney band all the way through the back of the ribs. Let consciousness spread. Twice more like that. Inhale, drawing into low belly, maybe even the mula, the root lifts. And exhale, the kidneys spread, the waistband widens as you settle into a sense of ease. And then one more time like that, drawing in on the in-breath and spreading wide, energetically on the exhale. Now let the pattern of the breath soften. As we move into a yin paradigm, which seeks to de-escalate the nervous system, which of course has been programmed for very yang-centric stimulations. No sense of efforting here. And as you glimpse from the locus of orientation of the center self, the low belly, the Japanese would say it's somebody who has Hara, someone who knows where home is in the body, outside of the very coarse thinking mind, this subtle body center. just ask. The inquiry, these contemplations really can guide the alchemy of the practice. So, from the low belly, just contemplate for the last minute in this pose. How am I? How am I doing? What am I bringing with me? Any burdens onto the mat? What's emerging in the organism as I begin the practice? So, noting sensations, emotional tones, just a skillful attendance to this rich inner landscape. How am I doing? And you'll take 3 last breaths as you just know where you are emotionally today. Now we'll press up into a tabletop on an inhale. And you'll just begin to stir the forearms around the wrists like you were stirring a pot. A few times in one direction and then the other. And then you'll inhale as you drop the belly and curl the pubic bone through the thighs. As the sternum spreads forward and lifts through the gate of the upper arm bones, we're in cow pose, a back bend. Lift the chin and open the throat and inhale again. And then exhale just the opposite. Pubic bone and sternum pulls together, back of the ribs go wide. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. And exhale, curl and round in for cat. Stay here or lift the knees off the ground. Drawing low belly in for 3, 2, and 1. Knees come down, legs go long, and we rest on the forearms for Sphinx pose. Where the forearms are parallel, the elbows are just a bit farther forward than the shoulder joints, so as to allow the shoulder girdle to widen and soften as the sternum moves forward. Pubic bone goes heavy, but the pelvic floor, the root, the moolah lifts up. As you inhale now into the heart, and exhale, let consciousness spread through the upper body, what's called the upper sky, or the prana winds of the heart space. And the inquiry here in this intimacy center, so we've just visited the intuitive center of the Hara, the belly. And now the heart is our interpersonal wisdom, where we might connect to who's with us in the practice. So who's in your heart today? Just a subtle glimpse into this wisdom realm where the pose itself offers an expansion of the space that hosts. other beings who you feel connected to. So just visiting and really acknowledging that the energetic self is porous and without boundaries. So even though you may be practicing alone, we're always bringing with us an interconnectedness where we can acknowledge who's with us here. So who's in your heart today? Noting any blissful sense of selfless joy for others, this benevolent love, and also any interpersonal pains. So anyone that you're emotionally struggling with, any difficulties with another, just noting that too. Now from the Sphinx pose, we'll do a few rounds of a movement practice where we inhale and press the feet into the floor and open up through the throat. Curl open from the pubic bone to the sternum. And then exhale and draw in as you puff up through the kidneys. Press the tops of the feet down, but lift the low belly and thighs up. Go down on the inhale, curl open. Draw the elbow points back. Find deep extension. Exhale, round in, pull in. Inhale, drop thighs, go open. Last time, exhale, pull in and hold. Stay here, or come through some rounds of Kapalabhati, breath of fire. Deep inhale, and exhale, pumping the navel. Keep going. Breathing through the nose, it's a forceful exhalation, passive inhale. Clearing out any debris in the heart for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, lift open, lift the elbows, find seal pose. And exhale, come all the way down. Just rest on 2 stacked palms, third eye on top of that. Beautiful. Now rest here. As the breath moves back to an easeful rhythm of respiration that serves a grounding and a rooting of the physical dimension. And then slowly press up to seated. Now we'll draw the right hand away from the right hip, grounding through left sit bone as we find lateral flexion, side bend over to the right. Peel the navel back to the sacral plate as you spread through the left ribs. The lung goes long on the left side body. Take an inhale. And an exhale, root through the left sit bone. Now inhale, come up and bring the left hand behind the sacrum as you twist over to the left. And the right ribs will roll forward as you peel the left hip crease back and gaze over the back shoulder. And then we'll just sweep the back hand to the side for lateral flexion on the other side. So a few breaths here as you lengthen through the right. The liver sits just under the right lung, so creating space between the two, bit of chi flow, pranic engagement through the vital organs. We'll inhale and come up, right hand behind the body for a twist. And then we'll come back to center and place our hands in our lap, any way that feels comfortable for you. So I often like even to first start with Hara awareness again, to reorient the organism back to the locus of the central cell. Reground. Training the inner wisdom being to find its way back home. And then you might just allow the hands to rest on the shins as we come into third eye center. We've moved from the Hara intuitive realm to the heart, the intimacy center. So from the personal to the interpersonal, and now we might visit the natural intelligence that is available to us in the head. The Yinsights center. Our transpersonal connection. So the inquiry here is just a simple, brief glimpse practice into these wisdom regions, just guiding the practitioner by inquiry. How's my connection to spirit? To the divine realms outside of the self and the social being? Have I dined with the divine today? And just noticing if from third eye all the way through crown, there's a sense of faith in the trajectory of your life as it unfolds. Is there an immediate connection to my higher source today? Just noting without judgment. And then draw the awareness back from the insight center of the head through the intimacy center of the heart. And take a few breaths, inhaling from the heart to the head and exhaling back down. This flow of yin-yang qi from two of the wisdom centers interdialoguing with one another. And then from the heart, I want you to inhale down into the belly. So even though the prana of the breath seeks to rise up on inhale, we'll balance that by sending it down. So the yang of the inhale meets the yin sight of low belly. And then we'll exhale from the hara to the heart. Inhale heart to hara. Exhale hara to heart. Letting these two wisdom regions connect as the bridge of integration. And then lastly, hands to low belly. As you come back to an appreciation, let the breath rest, just ending with gratitude for this precious human body at peace with itself. This one sacred life and the realms of wisdom which we might enmesh ourselves in through this practice. Just a brief bowing down. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. I love you. Namaste.